Crikey! I'm Tammy Twizzle here for Twilight Time with Tammy Twizzle. We're at the park on this beautiful day looking for Twilight fans. Let's see if we can find some. Are you a Twilight fan?
No.
Excuse me?
Wait, are you Tammy Twizzle? Oh my god,
yes, I am, and you have just been selected to be the next guest on the Twilight Time with Tammy!
And now, the host of Twilight Time, Tammy Twizzle!
Hi everyone, and welcome to my show! I'm so excited. Today we have an awesome guest. It's Mr. Joshua Reid-Davis! Hey guys, and like I said, our guest today is Mr. Joshua Reid-Davis. He's a huge Twilight fan. Evidence. He might rival my love for it, but I don't think so because I'm Tammy Twizzle, and let's be honest. Stop it.
Oh, I was covering up Edward. I wasn't being facetious.
Alright, cut. Alright, I'm sure the question everyone's dying for you to answer. In this girl-dominated world of Twilight, how did you find yourself drawn in? I know you read the books, see the movies, go to conventions, you have friends, which... You have friends, I guess. How did you find yourself involved in that?
Okay, so we went and saw the movie, and I honestly had no desire to see it because you think vampire love story, whatever, like make me throw up. So we went to the movies and saw it, and I just totally fell in love. And on the way home from the theater, we stopped by Barnes & Noble, and I'm like, "Excuse me, do you have the book called? I think it's called Twilight." And she said, "Yeah, just go up the escalator." So we go up the escalator, and I look, and it says teen romance, and there's like this huge display. So I ran over and quickly got the books, and then ran out. So as I made my way down the escalator, I snuck up to the counter, just kind of discreetly put them up there, and the girls go, "Oh my gosh, I love Twilight, it's such a great story," and I'm like, yeah, I just got into it, so it was kind of embarrassing at first, but then I slowly started to realize with her reaction that this was more of a phenomenon than just a little, I don't know what you'd call it, cult fiction type sort of deal, so it was pretty cool. So I got home and I read the first book, and it takes me forever to read. Like, I don't read anything. Like, I don't even read the articles, in certain magazines that people claim to read. But with Twilight, I read all 4 books in 2 months, and for me, that's a big thing. If I can do that, then it's something worth. If it's got my attention span, then it's good.
Now, I know you're involved with a lot of the conventions. I know, like, the Creation Company works with Summit, and they have their long line of conventions. And, I mean, I've personally never been to a convention, but I have some close friends who have. And they say they see you there, and you're always having a great time. How did you get involved in that? Why do you still go? Do you have friends there? Explain a little more on your experience with the conventions.
Well, this is one of those kind of deep, personal type, Dr. Phil type moments, but in this case, it would be Dr. Tammy Twizzle moments. But,
PhD.
PhD. Well, I write like a doctor, so I should qualify for something, I started out, I did a lot of work with Star Trek conventions, and I did that for a long time, and it's with the same company. And then when the economy started slowing down, the work started slowing down a little bit, so I was forced to, find another job. So, I started doing conventions more and more part-time, and then I would just move back over to the East Coast from LA, and then I just quit doing conventions altogether. So my best friend, his name was Dave, and he was just really awesome. And he actually passed away last year, but before he passed away, we laid out of work, and we snuck in to see Twilight. So Dave was actually Team Jacob, and sadly and coincidentally, as life would have it, he did pass away. And I started, just kind of broke down. I, just was very sad and I was like, I'm going to drive to Florida and see my family. So I drove from D.C. to Florida, and I drove through the night, and I tweeted about being in Atlanta. And that's the good thing about Twitter is, you never know what's going to happen with Twitter. So I tweeted in my home state, back in Georgia. So I got a phone call like 10 minutes later, and it was from one of my friends that works with the convention, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're in Atlanta?" And I was like, "Yeah." So he's like, "Stop by the hotel." He's like, "We're doing a convention here." I was like, "Oh, Star Trek?" And because that's the ones that I worked with mainly. And he's like, "No, we're doing a Twilight convention." It's like, "Oh, cool. I just recently became a Twilight fan." So I drove over to the hotel and attended my first Twilight convention, and it was a very eye-opening experience. It was different from like the whole Star Trek geeks like myself to all these like teenage girls like, woo! It's like a Beatles phenomenon for vampires is what it came down to. So eventually I started working with the conventions again, and then had a lot of experiences on the way. And we met Kellen Lutz there, and that's where I met a group of girls, which are the Hilly moms, and they're like amazing. And we went walking in, and Kellen recognized me. He's like, "There's my girls," and I was like, "Hey!"
Hey guys, I'm back with our guest Josh today, and like I said, we're super excited that he's here. He's a huge Twilight fan. Not as huge as me, but I mean, no one can be. So, anyway, back. Are you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
If there's no question about it, I'm Team Jacob. But when it comes to vampires, I'm Team Damon.
Okay, this is a Twilight show.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
Please don't ever do that again.
Okay.
I will never ask you to do that. Earlier we talked about your convention experience and how you got involved in that. Tell me your favorite experience from meeting a Twilight celebrity. You know, who have you had the most just memories with, and who would be your favorite one?
Okay, my favorite one would have to be Justin Chon. I first met Justin, I sent him a Facebook message. We saw him a few weeks later at a convention, and we'd invited him to go hang out with us, but his flight didn't get in or whatever, for whatever reason, so he didn't get to hang out with us. So my friend told him the next day when we first met him, you know, she's like, "You should have came out with us last night." And he's kind of like, yeah, kind of like, "Who are you?" He kind of gave us that look, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is someone like posing as Justin Chon on Facebook, and he's like, you know, some old guy living in his mom's basement, wearing a Team Jacob shirt, posing as Eric Yorkie. So we left, and we walked out of the photo op room, and I was like really heartbroken, because like I'm telling all my friends, oh my gosh, I've been talking to Justin Chon on Facebook for like 2 months, and you know, then we were walking out, and she's like, "Josh, I don't think that's him you're talking to." I was like, "I don't think so either." I was so embarrassed. So then you hear all these girls go, and then like Justin comes running out of the photo op room, and he's like, "Wait, out of 5,000 Facebook friends, you're Joshua Reid-Davis." I was like, "Oh, thank God I'm not crazy."
So here at Twilight Time with Tammy Twizzle, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a huge Hillywood Show fan. They were my inspiration for my own show that I now have. It's me. And I know that you are tight with them. So can you explain, like, you know, how you got to know them and get involved with them? I know you were in their New Moon parody. Just, you know, elaborate a little on that.
So I met Hillywood in Atlanta at the same time at the first convention that I'd gone to. And then I met the Hilly Moms, which is like a fan club for Hilly Moms. I'm the only guy, Hilly Mom. And it's kind of in contract. I'm the only one ever allowed to be a Hilly Mom. And so we just started hanging out with them at conventions, and you know, just like one thing led to another. You know, so every convention we go to a dinner, and then you know we hang out and stuff. And they have like they host all the Twilight events for creation. So we did the Hillywood Fall Ball in Tampa last year, and we filmed the New Moon parody, and I was one of the extras, and I was the one that stood there when Hilly would run out, you know, and then I had like a bruise on my side because we did like 100 takes, you know. And then we see the video, and I'm like, you know, after getting punched in the side 100 times, like you would think that it would show my face a little bit more than that 1 second that it did. I'm not bitter or anything. I love you, Hilly. But we were at dinner one night, and Hannah was like, "Yeah, like the first time we met you, Josh, we thought you kind of looked like James." And we, you know, we just finished filming the first Twilight parody, and we're like, he would have been a great James. So, Hannah, we've already talked about this. And I just want to tell the whole world, the YouTube video world, I would love to do a James flashback in the Eclipse parody. And if you all write into Hillywood, we want just Josh to be the James in the flashback scene. So you should do a flashback scene.
Okay, one final question about the Hillywood. What time of the New Moon parody can we find Josh?
Honestly, I don't know I don't know. It's like 8 minutes 40 seconds or something like that. I don't know, but it's when she's running through the fountain. You know, I'm in the red cape, and
you can see his black pants.
You can see my black pants, my red cape, and you see the back of my head. It's like this. You see this? That's me. This is me. But for a brief second, I turn and you see me. So.
Keep an eye out for Josh when you're watching New Moon parody. All right, now I know it's been great having you on the show today, and I want to thank you very much. But I have one more question, and I think it's the most important question on everyone's mind right now. Have you ever met Robert Pattinson?
Oh my gosh, we're like best friends. We hang out all the time. Hold on. Oh, this is him right now. Rob? Hey, I'm with Tammy Twizzle. You're in the area, want to hang out? Sure, I'll come get you. Tammy, I just talked to Rob. I'm going to go pick him up, so go ahead and pull yourself together. I'll be right back.
Rob?
Come on, Tammy, let's go. Wait, you have a restraining order against Tammy Twizzle? What? Okay, let's go.